Hello everybody, Pokemon fans, Pokefreaks, and all of those that love Pokemon. This is my first video where I'm going to be updating you on the new English names for Generation 5 Pokemon from Pokemon Black and White. Okay, so most of the Pokemon still have Japanese names, but for right now I'm just going to be updating you on those that have their English names. Okay, so our first Pokemon up that we have is named Snivy. He's the first Pokemon, not technically the first Pokemon, but the first Pokemon which is the grass starter of the Unova region. Okay, so next up we have the fire Pokemon. His name is Tepig. Now mind you, I might not be saying these correctly, but I've yet to hear how they actually sound with their English names. So, from there, that was our second starter Pokemon, which is the Fire Starter. Our third one, which is the Water Starter Pokemon, his name is Oshawott. Or Oshawott. Pretty much, I'm guessing, deriving from the words ocean and otter, as far as I know. So, those are your three starters. Next up, we have the Pokemon that comes after the starters. Now, excuse me on my pronunciation, but it looks like Patrat or Patrat. I'm not exactly sure which one. Okay, and now we have the three elemental monkeys that have been introduced previously last year. First one that we have is Pansage. That was the grass monkey, and then next up we have the fire monkey. His name is Pansear. And then finally, out of those three elemental monkeys, we have the water one called Panpour. Now mind you, to me, they all sound like cooking names, or food items and stuff like that, because you pour, sear, and sage is another thing. Okay, after that, we have the two first introduced psychic Pokemon. First on up is Mana, which keeps its Japanese name. I'll just go ahead and say, please excuse for the camera quality on here. I am using my iPod Touch for this, so. Mind you, you can't really see the pictures of it, but from here, I would just say go to the website www.serebii.net, Serebii. Okay, so the evolution of Mana we have up next is Musharna, which also keeps its Japanese name. Okay, so from there, we have our first flying Pokemon. It's called Pidove. Okay, so out of those, none of the other ones really have any English names yet, so we still have yet to wait for those. And now on to our first electric-type Pokemon. English name, Blitzel. And now we go to our first rock-type Pokemon, which to me is actually pretty epic looking. And its name is Gigalith. Probably deriving from the words Giga and Monolith, of course, as you can see. And then after that, the Pokemon right following after that is our first psychic flying type of this generation. Its name is Woobat. Following up after that is our first ground-type Pokemon, which is a mole. Its name is Drillbur. There are more than I thought there were. Go figure. Okay. And then after that, we have our first ground and dark-type combo ever created for Pokemon. Its name is Sandile. And now from that, we have the one Pokemon, our very first, or second actually, Psychic and Fire combination original Fire type, that has a different form once its HP goes below a certain amount. And then we have Darmanitan. Probably originating from the words Dharma and orangutan. And now for our first Ghost-type Pokemon of this generation. It's an odd name, actually, for me, that I would think of, but here is Cofagrigus. Like I said, please excuse my pronunciation. I have no idea how these names are actually pronounced exactly, so just bear with me. And then the very first two Pokemon that were ever introduced for these new games, I'm going to show them both at one time. So they actually keep their Japanese names. So here are Zorua and Zoroark. After that, we have Minccino. Just to speed things up a little bit, I'm just going to go ahead and read off the rest of the names that are English. So, the two Psychic-type Pokemon that are native to either Black and White, Gothitelle, which is relative to Pokemon Black, and Reuniclus, which is relative to Pokemon White. Gothitelle is the more Lolita-style looking Pokemon, while Reuniclus looks like a giant cell with arms. And then following on with that, we have Klink, which is the two gears put together. Following up after that, we have the first dragon Pokemon that we had introduced, Axew, which is actually one of the first Pokemon you see introduced in the new season of Pokemon by the character Iris. Okay, so following after that, let's see. Well, actually, no, that was about it. As far as I know, the two legendary dragons that go with Pokemon Black and White, Reshiram and Zekrom, from what I see on here, they have the same name under their English name. But as far as I know, I'm not quite sure. So from there, I'll keep you updated as soon as I find out anything else. So like I said, if you want to figure out what these Pokemon look like, their English names, go to the website www.serebii.net. Okay. If you like this video, please subscribe to my feed, and I'll try posting more videos as soon as I can on the new Pokemon.